Conscious Leadership Podcast, the human side of leadership, where consciousness meets practical business leadership. The podcast dives into real challenges managers face, from team motivation to navigating change. Discover actionable insight, proven strategies, and inspiring stories to help you lead with clarity, authenticity, and impact. Whether you are an SME owner, a team leader, or simply passionate about conscious leadership, this podcast will equip you with the tools to build stronger teams, foster trust, and achieve sustainable success. Tune in, lead consciously, and make a difference. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Conscious Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Boris Nedved. Today, I'm talking to those of you who feel like you've done everything right and still sense something is wrong. You've read the books, followed all the frameworks, optimized your strategies, scaled your operations, but the results are still missing something fundamental. If that resonates, you're not alone. There are cracks in the system. If we are honest, the leadership model we were handed and trained on was engineered for a different era. It was built for predictability, compliance, and efficiency. Values that made sense in an industrial world, but all fall flat in today's human-driven, rapidly evolving, complex systems and environments. Yet, many leaders still operate from these outdated models, and they are exhausted. You have tried the programs, you have implemented the frameworks, you have optimized strategy and scaled operations, but your team is silently checked out. The culture is eroding, and even though everything looks good on paper, something inside feels wrong. And I hear it again and again. We did everything the experts told us, but we still can't solve the underlying tension. I'm fixing problems all day, but never getting to the root. I can't keep pretending. I've got it all handled. These are not isolated frustrations. They are systemic feedback signals from a leadership culture built to treat symptoms, not root causes. So let's break down some of the signals that are out there in tons of statistics, and that you might perceive as well. Ineffectiveness and delusionment. Leaders are disillusioned with cookie-cutter programs and standard empty frameworks. Despite trying various approaches, reading the right books, sending teams to well-reviewed trainings, leaders continue to feel that something is still not working. They focus on symptoms, not the root causes. Most traditional leadership systems, models, or tools offer temporary relief. They focus on compliance or soft skill workshops, but avoid addressing the systemic incoherence or the misalignment. They treat symptoms, instead of helping leaders diagnose and shift from the root. The promotion of survival over evolution. These programs often reinforce how to cope with dysfunction, not how to transcend it. They teach leaders how to survive inside broken systems, not how to evolve beyond them. And there are some foundational flaws. The current leadership model is still largely built for control, conformity, and output, not for truth, coherence, or wholeness. And when you lead from a system that's designed to mute humanity, no amount of performance will feel satisfying. There's the negative impact on teams. The fallout is visible everywhere. Motivation is low, absenteeism is rising, the team is flat, the culture feels energetically empty. Engagement metrics become the band-aid for unaddressed misalignment. And there's the leader burnout and exhaustion. There's the human cost. Leaders are tired of being the strong one, of being the one everyone counts on but no one truly sees. They feel off, despite having done everything right. They are done pretending. Today's leaders are emotionally saturated and energetically starved. They carry the unspoken burdens of their teams. They uphold systems they no longer believe in. They succeed outwardly while disconnecting inwardly. And yet, there is in my eyes some hope in it. If you are feeling this tension, it means you are awake. You are not broken. You are outgrowing a model that no longer serves you. So what now? If you are standing at the edge of burnout, misalignment, or leadership disillusionment, what can you do? Start small. Start with truth. Here, from my perspective, 5 shifts to support you, bring you back to your core. Stop performing. You're not a machine. Drop the armor of pretending. Let yourself admit what's not working. Get still. Block 15 to 20 minutes every day. No email, no inputs, just silence. Your inner compass needs room to speak. Tune in. Ask, what feels misaligned? What am I tolerating? What am I craving more of? Reclaim your inner authority. Use tools like human design to reconnect with how you are designed to make decisions. And reach out. Leading consciously is not a solo act. Start a conversation with a coach, a colleague, or someone who gets it. When you return to your energetic center, something changes. You stop trying to manage your team and start magnetizing, energizing them. You stop suppressing your truth and start leading from it. You remember, leadership isn't about control, it's about coherence. So we talked about the cracks in the system. This is now about the quiet, invisible cost that too many leaders are carrying, the emotional weight of it all. Modern leadership often feels like emotional labor in disguise. Behind the title and the performance metrics, leaders are silently absorbing the stress of their teams, the disconnection in the culture, and the pressure to constantly perform. And they're doing it while appearing strong, steady, and composed, because that's expected. You know this feeling if you ever put your team's needs before your own for the 5th time of that day. You smiled through yet another meeting when all of you wanted was a moment to breathe. Gone home to a family that needs you emotionally while you feel like a well run dry. This is the shadow of high functioning leadership. Being the rock for everyone else, while no one checks if the rock is cracking. What's dangerous is not just the risk of burnout or breakdown, it's the isolation in it. Because the higher up you are in the organization, the less space you feel you have to be real. Leaders saying things to me like, I have to be the one who has and holds it all together. If I show weakness, the whole thing might fall apart. I've been in this too long to ask for help now. But here's the truth. No one was designed to carry it all alone. And when leadership becomes a solo survival mission, it stops being leadership and becomes emotional martyrdom, suffering, torture. So how to identify who can help you carry the weight? If you're carrying more than your fair share, and you know it, it's time to get strategic about support. Audit your emotional circle. Who in your current network truly sees you? Who do you trust to be honest, vulnerable, and unfiltered with? If that list is short, I think it's time to build it. Look for energetic resonance, not just expertise. The right support system isn't always a high-profile mentor. Sometimes it's a coach, a colleague, a conscious leadership guide. Someone who understands both business and energy. Stop waiting for a crisis, for something bad to appear. Don't wait until burnout forces you to stop. Proactively choose connection now. You can decide. It has to be your decision. This is your life, not your boss's or the company's life. You can ask yourself, who is the most important person in your life? And I hope it is you. It is not egoistic. The happier you are, the more happiness you expose to your surroundings, your environment, your family, your colleagues, whoever it is. Ask the honest question. Who in your circle feels safe, real, and resourced enough to help you hold the weight? And normalize the co-holding. Start shifting the team culture from I'll take care of it to we hold it all together. Leadership coherence scales best when it's distributed. Your strength as a leader is not how much you can carry. It's how well you curate the field around you to carry what matters. No one thrives in isolation, and you weren't meant to either. Let's move a bit deeper now and bring in your intuition. There is this, I want to call it crossing, that many leaders find themselves standing in front of, whether consciously or not. It's the subtle but persistent friction between what your intuition tells you is right and what conventional leadership norms keep insisting you should do. This is your inner alarm bell that you might have avoided for years. Your intuition says, slow down, connect, pause to feel. Tradition, the company expectation says, move faster, drive outcomes, push through discomfort. Intuition says, this team needs restoration. Tradition says, that's what Friday drinks are for. And here's the heart of it. You can't lead from your gut, from your intuition, from your inner knowing, while outsourcing your choices to an outdated paradigm of leadership behaviors. Yet many leaders do. And every time they override that inner knowing in favor of what good leaders are supposed to do, a little piece of their trust in themselves erodes. It's why so many high-functioning leaders feel the quiet ache of dissonance. They've been trained to lead from the outside in. But I'm calling you, urgently, to lead from the inside out. This tension isn't weakness. It's your inner wisdom trying to get your attention. You might feel it when you're not alone in a strategy meeting, knowing in your body that something is wrong, something is off, something doesn't match. You say yes to a decision that data supports, but your gut protests. You watch a talented team member disengage and feel deep down inside you it's a cultural misalignment, not a performance issue of that new team member. This is intuition in leadership. It's not fluffy, it's not emotional. It's deeply strategically human. How do you start honoring your intuitive intelligence again? Especially when it's been dulled by years of best practices, standard frameworks, external benchmarking. Notice the subtle no. It's not always a loud objection. Sometimes intuition speaks as fatigue, hesitation, a sense of something's off. Name it. Note it down. Track your body reaction, not just the brain. Did your shoulder tighten when that idea was pitched? Did your breath shallow in that decision? That's not random, that's data. Your body's data that comes from within you and no one else. It's your inner compass, your life's radar. Practice decision-making deconditioning. Try this before your next big decision. Check what your default logic says. Then pause. Ask your gut, your heart, your breath. What's their response? Use energetic tools to understand your intuitive mechanics. In your own design, for example, you may be designed to wait for emotional clarity or respond in the moment. Knowing this can change everything. And journal the conflicts. Track moments when you followed your intuition versus when you ignored it. What was the outcome? Let your history reveal your truth, not the expected truth by others. Intuition isn't a rebellious act. It's a return to your original intelligence, your inner core. When you start listening inward, the noise of conformity begins to fade. And you remember what and how you came here to lead, not just to execute. After all we've explored, one truth becomes clear. At least it's clear for me. Leadership as we know it is cracking, and it needs to. The old models were never built for wholeness, relational trust, or energetic clarity. They were built to produce output, enforce consistency, and protect hierarchy. But we no longer live in a world that rewards only efficiency. We live in a world that demands resonance. And conscious leadership is not a trend. It's a return to the kind of leadership that actually works in a human, complex, energetically dynamic world. So let's get practical. Why it is time to lead differently. Imagine a team where no one dares to speak up during the meeting. But Slack or whatever other tools you're using is buzzing with complaints the moment the Zoom call ends. The strategy might be solid, but the culture is leaking energy. This isn't a performance issue, it's a coherence issue. Or consider a manager who follows the handbook to perfection, but ignores the gut when onboarding a new hire. Weeks later, the person looks great on paper, but drains every meeting they touch. The cost of ignoring energetic alignment? Massive. Or think of the executive who keeps scaling the business without first healing the team's burnout. Growth without grounding leads to collapse, rather sooner than later. And these are not edge cases. They are not specific or specialties. These are everyday stories in the workplace around the world. And they're the reason more leaders are saying, enough. What conscious leadership looks like in action. It listens to metrics, but trusts resonance. It builds strategy, but leads with presence. It values efficiency, but refuses to sacrifice humanity to get there. With conscious leadership, leaders don't just manage people. They sense, guide, and amplify them. They know that trust is not built through policies, but through presence. They use frameworks like human design, not to categorize people, but to unlock their energy, to bring out their potential. What are the benefits? What changes when you lead from the inside out, from your inner core? For leaders, it's less burnout, it's more clarity, it's decision made with confidence, not just data. It's alignment between who they are and how they lead. For teams, it gives greater engagement, psychological safety, more ownership, less dependency, and teams that want to show up, not just have to show up. And ultimately, for organizations, it's reduced turnover and absenteeism. It's cultural coherence across departments and a competitive edge grounded in authenticity and trust over their competitors. When leadership gets coherent, the whole system heals. And conscious leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about leading not to perform, but to resonate. And when you lead from your truth, people don't just follow you. They align. If you made it this far, something in you already knows. You're not here to lead the old way. You're not here to endlessly perform strength while suppressing fatigue. You're not here to execute someone else's model while ignoring your own intuition. And you're certainly not here to lead in isolation, disconnected from your own truth. You are here to reclaim your core. Because real leadership begins when you return to the truth of who you are, not just what you know. When you stop leading from the script and start leading from the signal. When your decisions, your energy, your presence align into coherence. This is not a soft reset. It's a deep remembering. The invitation now is to pause, to breathe, to stop performing and start resonating, and to get curious. Where am I leading from survival, not alignment? What patterns am I still repeating that no longer feel true? What would my leadership look like if I truly trusted myself again? And then to choose one honest conversation you have been avoiding, one area where you could ask for help, one place where your body says no, but your calendar or data says yes. You don't need to become more. You need to return to what's already there. Let this be your turning point, not to work harder, but to lead deeper. And if you want to explore how human design and conscious energy alignments can support this journey, reach out. This is the work I do. This is the space I hold. This is the leadership field I help you reclaim. Thank you for tuning in to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. Visit my website humaninthecenter.com to learn more or to schedule a leadership alignment session. Until the next time, stay intentional, stay conscious, and keep leading with purpose from the inside out. Thank you for listening to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. Look forward to the next episode to come, and stay intentional, stay conscious, and keep leading with purpose. Until the next time, bye.